Welcome to the TALKESHI podcast, episode 31, season 2. All right. I've seen a lot of other podcasts have different seasons of stuff. Well, stuff being their podcast. And I've decided that this is pretty much season 2 because there's like a lot of changes and stuff. It's like a second, not wave, but it's like a second... It's a different vibe. No, it's not a different... I'll get into it, but there is going to be kind of a shift, and it just... Everything is different now with this podcast. Not everything, but if you're watching, of course, you'll see that the setting is different, and I'm also not using a mic. That's not going to be something constant throughout this podcast, but I forgot my mic. I forgot to bring my mic, and I literally... I don't have a car right now in these moments, so I can't just like go to my house and go get it. But if you notice, the setting is different because this is literally the apartment that I've been teasing for months now. I've been telling everyone like I'm gonna move. It's just the move is so long. Well, the move is finally here. I haven't officially moved in yet, but the set is pretty done. So yeah, this is my new apartment. This is at least going to be the new setting for the pod. I'm going to keep on feeling the vibe. If this is the vibe, it may be more up close or whatever. Tell me if y'all like it. But yeah, hi. Now officially hi. I hope everyone is doing all right. This is a mess of a beginning of a new era in TALKESHI, but... yeah, hope everyone is doing all right. What is there that is new other than me moving? In the world, the vaccine has already been out for a while. I think since the beginning of the year, right? Speaking of what I would speak about on this podcast, things are gonna be a little different in the sense that I feel like almost every podcast episode that I had, I would always say like, this is the direction that I'm going in the podcast. I don't know what direction I'm going with. I finally have a direction. All right. I finally have kind of like a sense of like where I want things to go, what I want to do with it and stuff like that. The thing is that like at the beginning, I really wanted to be the kind of podcast that first of all, criticize content. And that is something that I want to keep doing. I love kind of like critiquing more than anything, commentating. I don't know if that's exactly it, but I want to do that. I want this podcast to be that. I did, however, at the time I would listen to a lot of podcasts, I still do, that would talk about like current events and kind of just like talk about it or whatever. And for a while, that was what this podcast was. It was kind of like a random chat with me, just chatting IRL. I know that's a Twitch category, but still, yeah, that's kind of what I thought this podcast was going to be. But I've decided to kind of go on a more... There's something outside. Kind of go on a more topical, kind of like every podcast should be something different or something with an objective type of thing. So 4 months now, I have literally been planning content. I've been planning guests. I've been planning so many types of things like to shake this podcast up. I have something really big coming soon. Like really big. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. But with y'all's help, I hope, that I do. I'm really nervous about it, actually. I can't wait to talk about it, too. I'm going to talk about it probably at the beginning of next week or... No, like next month I will talk about it. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say that because I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm really excited to show y'all what I have planned because, yeah, I haven't been here for a while, but I'm excited to really make this podcast Popcast, if you will. That's a good name for a podcast. Probably. It's probably been taken. Anyway, life update. Because I actually kind of wanted to... I really wanted this one to be a little more of a freestyle because, well... the day this is dropping, my birthday weekend's beginning, and I'm also officially moving into this apartment. So I'm like really excited. It's a big weekend, and I really wanted to share it with y'all. I wanted to make an episode for y'all about it and stuff. This month has been crazy though. Like, I wanted to give a life update as well. This month has been crazy. And also, like, before I talk about my month, I wanted to bring up the fact that on both Instagram and Twitter, if y'all haven't followed the podcast there, I do plan to just, like, every week I have made something for the podcast social medias. So, follow me on there, follow the podcast on there on Instagram and Twitter. It's a side note, it's so funny that, like, I made an infographic type of thing talking about the Paul brothers when it was announced that Logan was moving here, and that popped off. Well, it got a lot of likes. Like, it's probably the most popular post that I've ever made on there. Just wanted to bring that up because that was interesting, and I really wanted it to bring more, like, listeners of the podcast, but I don't think that's I don't think that's what it did. But anyway, so I made kind of like the thing is, I like challenges. I like those monthly challenges. And speaking of challenges, like, I did a workout challenge for like a month. I don't know if y'all follow Blogalates, but I love her, and she, like, every single month has like a monthly challenge of, like, just do this, work out every day. And I worked out every day on February. I will talk about, like, my fitness and kind of like health journey on the channel. It's not going to be part of the podcast, but I'm going to make a video about it. So, like, I don't know, I really like the idea of making challenges and, like, mixing it with graphic design a bit. So I did one on the social medias for TALKESHI. On Twitter, it's in form of a thread that you can just answer. Like, it's 31 questions for this month of March. On Instagram, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I made pictures with the questions and stuff, and it's been a really interesting, like, I came up with those questions and I organized them for every day of the month, and it's been really interesting answering them and stuff. I hope that, like, if you've done it or if you want to go do it, like, it's interesting for you as well. I really did want to title it self-awareness, because I just know so many people that aren't self-aware, or at least don't think that there's a problem with them. This episode isn't going to be really about self-awareness or mental health or things like that. I really would like to discuss that at some point, but I just think self-awareness is so important, like, I know that sounds really dumb. It does sound dumb. And, like, the thing is that I've seen, like, so many self-help type of things that can come off as obnoxious or, like, cringy or things like that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go check something out for a second. This podcast episode is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You don't need anything fancy to make a podcast with Anchor. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It really is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Wow, it was just someone, like, it sounded like a TV, but I think it's just someone cutting the grass. Anyway, yeah, those kinds of things come off as obnoxious sometimes, like self-help and even dieting and exercise. I really want to get into why it's so cringe and why that's, like, a big reason as to why a lot of people don't, they don't do it, or they don't like the culture of it. I even have to say, like, I'm surprised that have I talked about this? I've talked about toxic positivity, but I've never really talked about, like, self-help and that kind of world, even though it interests me. And I'm really interested in, like, that toxic positivity / self-help / like, hustle culture kind of thing. I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested in debunking it more than anything, because they really don't take into account a lot of things like capitalism and poverty and mental health and all that stuff. So, of course, I'm really interested in, talking about that and stuff. But sorry if it's annoying to see me holding the phone and stuff. I'm really desperate because I'm really sad that I didn't bring my mic, but whatever. So the thing is that those things like self-help, dieting and exercise, working hard and all those things, like those, they are important. Those are good values to have and good things to have in mind. And I feel like a lot of people, while they do have like, they are correct in being like, yeah, that's like cringy, like they don't take account this and this and this. It's true, like they're completely right in that. They also don't consider that eating healthy is good and being self-aware is good, and even being nice. A lot of people are like, fuck you, I'm not gonna be nice, which I get, but like, I don't know if I'm derailing here, but I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say. Self-help is important. You know, mental health is important. No matter how obnoxious a lot of like these pages and people that try to sell you books and courses and shit are, those things can be pretty important assets to your life. So I really hope that my self-help, no, that wasn't self-help, it was that my awareness, you know, like awareness challenge thing didn't come off as obnoxious. I really hope it didn't. I don't think it did, but still, if you took it like that, like that's obviously not what I wanted to do. Not that it's offensive and I'm making like an apology for it, but I'm not David Dobrik right now. Jesus Christ. If anyone is following that, bro, let me know, because I have been obsessed with frenemies and that whole situation, which I don't, like, I see frenemies as entertainment. I see the situation obviously very different because it's very serious things that are coming out, right? But it's been my obsession for like months now. So if any of you guys are also into that, let me know. Anyway, yeah, so I was gonna say that this month has been really tough, and I kind of wanted to talk about it for a bit, just kind of like not get it off my chest, because it's not like a secret or anything, but it's been pretty tough. The thing is that March, of course, is my birthday month. So I really look forward to it every year. Last year, everyone was shitting on March because of the fucking pandemic. I even saw people be like, oh, March is always giving me bad vibes. Like, it's this person. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Maybe they don't like Aries season, because I don't like Pisces season. So I get it if you don't like Aries season. It's chaotic as fuck. But it's like literally March Aries season, like the last few weeks of March are like chef's kiss for me always. Of course, like it's around the time of my birthday, March 28th, if y'all didn't know. But yeah, I always look forward to it. Look at this lipstick. I don't know what's up with it. It's making my lips stick to each other. Anyway. Can you tell that I drank a lot of coffee? Yeah, I'm very energetic right now. I'm sorry. Anyway, going back to what I was talking about. So this month was really tough because, and this is gonna sound so, I don't know how it's gonna sound, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So my cat, like you guys know, I have two cats, the one that were always around in the background of my videos and stuff. I have Peachy, who's the bigger one, who's like the completely orange tabby cat, and the smaller one, who's John, who's like white and also has orange. But yeah, so like John, literally the first day of March, we took him to get neutered or spayed. I don't know which one is for male and female cats, but yeah, like, you know, castration. And I don't know, I was just so nervous for him because he's such a nervous cat, and it was like the worst. Like getting in there and waiting for him and shit. It was tense. But then I bring it up because yeah, it was like the first day of March, and it literally gave me a taste of what the rest of March was gonna be, because exactly a week later, well, during that week, my other cat, Peachy, he was really sick. Like on Saturday of that week, he got really sick, and I was already having panic attacks. Not even about that. That added to my panic attacks and stuff, right? And we, like a week after we took John, you know, on Monday after that Saturday, we took him to the vet, and it turns out that he ate a needle. And we were just so fucking nervous for him. Like, Mom and I were having breakdowns, honestly. Like, it was really tough. First of all, like, the thing is that they told us that's common. They were like, this is not our first needle a cat eating a needle rodeo. And Mom and I were just like, what? They do that a lot, apparently. They eat needles and shit that's bad for them. Freaking cats. They're bionic, by the way. Like, swallowed a needle probably for like a month. Mom and I calculated. It was probably like for a long while that he had that in there, but then it moved to a part of his stomach that was probably going to be harmful for him. So thank God we took him, right? Because he was vomiting and shit, right? The thing is, though, that we left him there for 2 days at the pet hospital. It really sucked because we can just imagine, Mom and I are so sensitive to this stuff. Like, we just don't understand how there's so many people that don't care about their animals and can just like leave them places and can just like move on with their lives. And okay, we're leaving our pet, we'll get him whenever. Mom and I are not like that. So like we pamper these animals so much that imagining leaving him at the pet hospital and him being there so nervous with all the other animals like killed us. For 2 days it killed us. Because like for 1 day we had to wait till his like sugar levels, blood sugar levels and stuff like would go low. And then the next day they did the operation, a success. The thing is that because of that, like, I experienced hopelessness. And I've experienced hopelessness a lot, right, in my life. Imagine they tell you that your cat swallowed a needle and you're so nervous because of the anesthesia, most of all. Like, a lot of cats don't wake up from the anesthesia, so you're obvious. Like, my mind was reeling. It's not well, I don't know how dangerous it is really, but it still terrifies you, thinking that maybe overnight when you leave him that night, like something will happen. The hopelessness was so big. And I fasted. I don't know if I should tell anyone this, but I fasted. I have always been interested in like the discipline of fasting. I would love to talk about it a little more. I don't think I have a lot of time to really go into like what fasting means, because it's like a sacrifice, I'm not even a religious person, but it was very interesting to really commune spiritually. It's a spiritual thing. Like, I know we relate it a lot to like los pentecostales and like Christian people that like do it and stuff, but I really wanted to do it. I didn't do it for a long time. My body couldn't handle it. I feel like I should really train my body to do it, because I would love to do it in the future, but I really tried to spiritually get in touch with myself. I know, again, that sounds obnoxious, but it's the truth. And it's because hopelessness took me there. I've been hopeless a lot of other times in my life, but this cat, like, I love him. He's like my son, he's like my baby. So of course, like, everything is fine. By the way, I forgot to say that. He is okay. He is at home right now. He looks like a Build-A-Bear plushie. Not really, but like, he does have like the scar of the operation and stuff, but he took like less than a week. Like, the thing is, that week was horrible. It was torture taking care of him, because like Mom and I, like, we took care of him. We would wake up really early. We would give him medications and stuff. It was really tough to like take care of a cat in that way. I feel like a lot of people, not to flex, and also we have time. My mom and I, we have all the time in the world to take care of them. But a lot of people, I don't think realize even that it's like a lot of hard work. If this is with a cat, I can't imagine with a kid, which, by the way, I will have a podcast episode about. I would love to talk about parent content and stuff like that, but also I want to make a video on motherhood and parenthood and like all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned that's coming in May probably. But yeah, it was a really tough week. That was last week, the last 2 weeks, not this week that just started now, March 21. This was beginning of March, but those 2 weeks were hell, honestly. But that for me is gonna be my life update. I'm good now. I'm really happy that I'm making this big change in my life. I'm very excited for what's to come. That's been pretty much my headspace. Doing the 31 day self-awareness challenge. For me personally, I know I'm the one that made it, but to actually do it and go through all the questions and answer them has been really nice and something to kind of keep me grounded, but at the same time very hopeful for the future. I want to cry and everything because like it's been tough. So finally to see like a little light at the end of the tunnel feels really nice. And I wish it for everyone. I hope everyone really reaches this point. I know I'm like kind of at a point of anticipation because I haven't really moved in yet. I haven't really done a lot of things, but there are just so many things that are coming together that are really nice, and I'm really excited for them. I'm really excited for this podcast as well. I know this was kind of like a random freestyle-y type of episode. The next ones are really going to be structured. For the first time ever, this podcast is going to be really structured. And I'm excited for that. So, yeah, I'm going to leave y'all with that. And I will see y'all in the next episode, which I know it's soon. I think it's now in April. I'm not so sure, but you guys will see me then. And you can keep up with me on all the social medias for the podcast. So, yeah, I'll see y'all then. Thank you for watching. And, yeah, bye.